They don't call it the overhead smash for nothing, right? They don't call it the overhead placement or the overhead slice. They call it the overhead smash because your primary objective in any overhead is to hit it with overwhelming power. It should be a shot of devastation, regardless if your opponent is anywhere in the court or they're able to get a racket back. You should have enough power in your overhead so that your opponent just can't get it back. There's too much power. It's too fast, too much force. And so that should be your mental approach to any overhead. Hit it with overwhelming power. And so, where are we going to get that power? How do we achieve that power? And so, let's take a look at this point here. Scott is the one approaching and about to hit an overhead. I'm here on the baseline, pretty much a sitting duck, very defensive. And let's check this out here. Boom, a big overhead smash for the winner. And let's take a look at this smash now in slow motion. As I hit this lob here, how do we achieve that power? So first, in any overhead smash, right, you need to have that continental grip, and you need to turn. You absolutely need to turn. So watch Scott's back here. Back is pointed now toward the side. And as he's about to smash, right, as he's about to smash, that racket tip is pointed up. It's pointed up here. And so as he identifies this smash, he's about to set up. Where does he get that power? It's from his legs, all right? So check his feet out, okay? That ball is traveling a little bit behind him, right? So you got to run to that spot. But now he'll push off from his back foot, which is his right foot, okay? Sometimes you need to smash with your left foot or push off from your left foot, right? That's mostly because the ball is a little bit more in front. But usually on overheads, the ball is traveling backward. It's going over your head, right? So he's pushing off from his back foot here. And you know this because as you can see, his right foot, there's a little bit space under his heel, and his left foot is about to kick back, right? It's about to kick back up, and he's about to rotate his torso into that ball. And watch his legs, right? He's really pushed off now, rotating into that ball, using his torso to really unleash some power here. And also notice that his racket is on edge. He's about to pronate, right? So he's pronating as well, and he's getting really good extension up top. So this is vital in any overhead, is that you need to hit that ball in front, and you need to extend. You need to really extend on that contact point, extend up. So as he follows through, also notice that he lands on his left foot here. So he's actually traveling backward, but his weight transfer into that ball is forward, right? So he's landing on his left foot here, but if we go back here again, he's on his back foot, weight transfer all the way forward into that ball as he lands back on his left foot. So great overhead here. I can't do anything about this. It was clearly hit very hard, very powerful, and there's nothing I can do. Here's another example of an overhead, and this time I'm the one doing the overhead. And so also notice, right, as I get my racket tip up here, notice my non-dominant hand, right? It rises up, okay? So on any good overhead, your left hand or non-dominant hand should rise up. And this helps with, maybe keeping track of the ball. Maybe you could point up towards the ball to see it. But primarily, that non-dominant arm is there to help you rotate into that ball and keep yourself balanced, right? So as you rise up, just take a look at my left hand here. As you hit, notice how my left hand or left arm tucks in, right? Because there's so much force here, so much power into this overhead. I need to land and stay balanced, right? So that left arm gets tucked in, and I could remain balanced on my left side as I hit that overhead. I can't leave this video without talking about the Skyhook overhead, which is one of my favorite shots. It's inspired by Jimmy Connors. Jimmy Connors was one of the first players who used the Skyhook overhead in many of his attempts at an overhead. Today, I see Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer use Skyhook overheads. Mostly, though, they use it for defensive purposes. The ball travels behind their head, and there's really nothing they can do but use that Skyhook overhead. I personally use the Skyhook overhead as my primary way of doing overhead sometimes. So I like it, and maybe this overhead's for you. So let's check this out. It's a little bit different technique. And so as you notice, my racket, instead of pointing up, right, my tip is pointed to the side and low. It's not pointed up anymore. All the basic fundamentals of a good overhead, your feet, right, the good turn, that's still there. But here, I have that racket tip pointed to the side, and I'm going straight up to that contact point. And I like the Skyhook overhead because there's a little bit more safety involved, a little bit more margin, right? So as you hit it, this ball, you could still hit a good Skyhook overhead if that ball travels a little bit behind you, right? It's a little bit behind your head. You could still hit a good overhead on it. But the main thing here is that you need to have a little bit more wrist action on that Skyhook overhead. So if you notice here, my wrist turns right upon contact, right here, right? So if you see that, it turns right here, it pronates right there. And so let's check this out again. From the bottom here, my racket's not on edge, right? It's going pretty flat to contact, and then that's where I turn my hand a little bit, and that creates that power as well. So if you're someone who has some shoulder issues, this may be a good alternative way of hitting an overhead. You'll still get that power, and but also it gives you a little bit more margin as well, a little bit more safety if that ball travels behind you. So remember, your primary objective in hitting any overhead is to hit it with overwhelming power. Don't think about placement, okay? Everything, the whole court is wide open, and you just need to hit that with massive power so that it goes through. And even if your opponent gets a racket on it, you are forcing the error. So don't think about placement. Go for power on your overheads. If you enjoyed this video, kindly do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.